Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I'm finally back from the Culture Collision baseball card show or sports card show, whatever you want to call it. Mostly it was sports cards. There were some Pokemon dealers and even some sneaker dealers, but for the most part, it was sports cards. And I was pretty happy about that because I haven't ventured into Marvel or anything else really. In fact, there wasn't even much UFC or F1 as far as I could tell. So anyway, I just wanted to get into really just what my experience was at the show, and I'll save the card pickups or any other specific topics that I want to talk about. I'll save those for other videos because there are a few things that I do want to talk about, that takeaways that I have from this show. Anyway, let's get into it. Okay, so wanted to first of all talk about the giveaway that I've been promising everyone, and we did have a couple of votes, which were for the Hoops Blaster box. There was a vote for Topps 2022, maybe a Topps 2022 Blaster, but I think we're going to go ahead and stick with the Hoops at this point. I don't know that anyone has actually entered to win the to win the box, so I'll just go ahead and I think what happened was the last video I didn't talk about how to enter until the end of the video, which probably most people had tuned out by then. So the way to enter is just leave a comment telling me who you think is going to win the NBA championship. So it's pretty simple. So can't wait to hear what everyone has to say about that. So let's get into the show. This was the biggest card show that I've been to maybe ever. It's possible. I don't really know. I mean, I went to a lot of shows when I was a kid, so at least in recent times since the pandemic, this is the biggest show that I've gone to, and it was really a very good production. They had a basketball tournament, they had some speakers, and they had a lot of vendors. And where I spent most of my time was just at the tables, looking for deals on slabs, looking for deals on raw cards, just negotiate. I mean, there were so many cards, so many tables that really consumed all of my time. So I didn't really watch any of the speakers. I did get to see Michael Vick, which was pretty cool. I watched maybe like 5 minutes of a basketball game, but for the most part, I was there for the cards, and it was a lot of fun. I mean, I really felt like a little kid again, just looking at all those different cards. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was the trade night. Let's just go ahead and get into the trade night. There were actually 2 trade nights, but I'm going to talk about the Saturday night trade night, which was in the hotel lobby. Friday night trade night was, I believe, sponsored by eBay, and it was open bar. So I thought that was pretty cool. A lot of people didn't really care for it too much, but I was like, well, it's free alcohol. I mean, how could I pass this up? I didn't get hammered. I guess some people did, but I think the people that really totally got wasted left and went somewhere else. So I don't even think they were getting wasted on eBay's dime, which I don't know, kind of didn't make sense to me, but whatever. Anyway, that was Friday night show. What trade night? It wasn't really a true trade night in what we would consider, you know, everyone's set up and really kind of looking at each other's cards. It was just kind of mixed into more of a bar atmosphere. So Saturday night was the true trade night, and I actually got to sit down at a table and set up my cards, which was pretty cool. So I just wanted to talk about a couple of stories, which there were little kids, and I know other YouTube content creators have talked about kids that seem to have all this knowledge and seem to have these very expensive cards. So one of the kids came up and he was interested in an Ozzie Albies rookie card, which I actually picked up at the card show. So I'll go ahead and show this. This is an Ozzie Albies first Bowman auto, true gem. Very nice card. I've been looking for this for a while. And so he asked about it. He asked what the price was or what the trade value was. And he noticed the spelling on it. And you probably can't see it, but I'll just go ahead and put it close here. If you could see here, his name is Ozzie Albies. Most of you probably know that, especially people from the Atlanta area. But anyway, he was confused. He's like, wait, I thought his name was Ozzie Albies. And I was like, well, that's his real name. That's his like full name is Ozzie Albies. And I told the kid, I said, and actually this is a rare variation of the card. So it's super rare. And so it's actually worth 10 times more than what the comp is on eBay because of this name change. And he looks at me like, is he serious? Anyway, I told him the truth. I told him I was just messing around, but it was just kind of funny to see the look on his face like, wait, I can't tell if this guy's serious or not. And so that was just one of the stories with the kid. Now another little kid walks up to the table, and this was a funny scene because this was right after a deal, and I'll talk about the deal I did, the big trade that we did at trade night. But this was after the trade, and Northeast Ohio Sports Cards, Neo, came over to our table to find out how the trade went down. So he's standing there, my brother's sitting down, and this little kid comes up, and he's looking at our cards, and he's like, "How much for this Aaron Rodgers?" Now this is an Aaron Rodgers Topps Chrome Refractor PSA 8. Last comp on it was $2,150, $2,150. And so he picks up the card. He's like, "How much for this Rodgers?" And I'm like, well, I'll just tell him what we're asking for it, right? I'm like, we're asking 2,200 for it. And he looks at it. He looks at it again. Of course, I was expecting him to just walk away or say 2,200. Wow, I didn't realize it was worth this much or whatever, right? But he puts it down. He pulls out a Steph Curry Topps BGS 8.5. And he pulls out another high-end card that was worth probably about $1,000. He's like, "Are you guys interested in either of these two cards?" And I was like, oh my God, he's got two cards that are worth about $1,000 each that he could potentially trade for this Aaron Rodgers. I mean, this kid knew what he knew what he had. He probably knew what that Rodgers was worth. And he was just seeing what deal we could work out. And I swear the kid looked like he was like 8 years old. He's actually in another vlog. So if you YouTube Culture Collision 2022 and check out, to be honest with you, I don't remember whose vlog it is, but look at a couple of the vlogs. There aren't too many. There's a little kid who bought or traded for a Steph Curry's Topps BGS 8.5. That was the kid who came up to the table. So it was just kind of a funny scene. After he left, we didn't do a deal or anything, but after he left, Neo looks at me and he's like, "What just happened there?" Like, I can't even comprehend what just happened there. It was pretty funny. Anyway, and I did buy a couple of cards off Neo. So I got this Shohei Ohtani Topps Chrome Pink Refractor. Got that for $200, which I thought was a pretty good price. I also met Merlin from Merle World Sports Cards, got a t-shirt from his table, and I bought this Joel Embiid. Again, another True Gem, which I really like True Gems. This is a purple white True Gem Select rookie card. Very nice card. Got that from Merlin at Merle World Cards. So shout out to him. And he was there with the Great Curator, which I'm sure many of you are familiar with. So I got to talk a little bit to Daniel from the Great Curator channel and just kind of look at some of his Marvel PMGs, which he had a ton of. Also bought a Jason Tatum Hollow PSA 10 off Flippin' Steve. So I got a great deal on that too. I ended up using that in the trade at trade night. And so I'll get into that because that was the big trade. So we had this is me and my brother, we had a Juan Soto First Bowman Chrome Refractor. So just in case Dakota from Sports Cards Anonymous is watching this, I did figure out it was a refractor. It was a BGS 9. And we were trying to figure out the value on this card. Now, this was the tricky part because the last comp, there was an auction for this exact same card for $4,900, which was a bummer because we had $5,800 into the card. So essentially, we lost about $800 to $900 according to the comp. And of course, everyone's leaning on that comp. And so this is one thing that I would say, if you have a card and you see that a similar card auctions for a lower price, the first thing I would tell people who are, especially if people are coming up to you and asking you for your card and the price on your card, I would say, well, go find another one for $4,900 because there's not one available. So that's the one thing I would counter with. And I think that we did not use that to our advantage enough. Yeah, it's $4,900 auction, 3 days ago, but there's not another one, buy it now, and there's not another one on auction. So, and clearly it was like the hot card of the trade night. So I think we probably didn't use that to our advantage enough. We turned down one deal, but we did end up trading it for, and I'll put pictures of these cards, a Ja Morant Select Concourse Blue Disco, serial number to 25. Super nice card. I'm actually pretty happy that I have the card, especially because that very night, Ja Morant scored, I believe he scored 46 points, and I believe 2 nights later, he scored 52 points, and just last night against the Celtics, he scored 38. So he has been on a hot streak, and I like the card. So Ja Morant's been hot. He's hot right now, and I kind of don't mind that we moved into that card. That was the big card in the trade. We also got a LaMelo Ball. I believe that was also a blue I want to say it was a blue prism. Again, I'll put the picture on here so you can see. That was probably valued at roughly $1,000. The Morant, we were having trouble valuing as well. The last comp on that was 4K, but but that was in December, and he's obviously been hotter now. So I did talk to a couple people to see if they thought 5K was an accurate value now, and they kind of confirmed that it was. But I'd love to hear what your feedback is on that. So those were the two main cards. We also got a Shohei Ohtani. I don't even know what kind of card it was. It was just kind of an oddball Shohei Ohtani, more of a throw-in. So those three cards essentially for the Juan Soto. The Jason Tatum, I'm not sure how that factored into the deal. Is really odd. He wanted the Tatum, but he gave me $300 cash. So he almost paid for the entire card cash, which was really almost a non-factor in the deal. So that's kind of how that trade went down. It was pretty cool to try to negotiate for that Soto. For most of the night, everybody was pretty interested in it, and it was just fun to see other people's collections, buy some cards, trade some cards. I mean, probably the most fun I've ever had at a trade night. And in general, I think it was an indication of just how fun the overall show was. And so there's a couple other things I wanted to talk about. Oh yeah, so anyway, so I got to meet some cool content creators. Obviously, I talked about meeting Neo, Northeast Ohio. I met Flippin' Steve. On Sunday, I also got to meet Mama Breaks, and I don't know if, I'm not sure if she has a YouTube channel, but I know she's on Instagram, so definitely check her out on her IG, and I'll put the IG name, it's Mama Breaks. And I also got to meet Sam from Women of the Hobby. So I met them kind of both at the same time on the show floor. I got the picture, I'll put the picture up here as well. And of course, I got to meet the man himself, Jeff Wilson, the sports card investor. I actually went up and, saw him over at his little booth that he had set up and got a picture. I also got to talk to Teapot too, which was pretty cool. I mean, there were a ton of people, content creators, people that have actually watched my channel. It was just a lot of fun. I'm sorry if I didn't mention your name, if I did meet you and I didn't get to mention you in this video. I'm trying to keep it reasonably short. I don't want to have a 45-minute video because I really can. There's a lot to break down from this show. And again, I'm going to do other videos about the show itself. And I did watch a little bit of the basketball tournament, so that was pretty cool too, but it sucked that I wasn't in it. I watched the Personal Finance Dad's channel, his takeaway from the basketball tournament, and his takeaway was, hey, I could hang with those guys. And I feel the same way. I felt like I could have played pretty well with those guys too. I met the Investicard guy, so I think some of you may have watched other YouTube content creators talk about Investicard, which is where you can actually borrow money off of your cards, which most people kind of agree is a bad idea. I did talk to him, and he actually looked at our Soto, and he valued the Soto at $6,000, which is what we were asking. He said he would fund it for $6,000, and he would actually have given us $4,200 cash. He would front us the $4,200 cash. Obviously, he would take the card, and then we would have to pay that back over 90 days with interest. And so the hope would be that we use that $4,200 to buy other cards that we could quickly profit from, more than the interest we're going to have to pay back, and kind of win in the end, which is super risky. I don't recommend that at all, but to each their own. I mean, people do risky stuff all the time, including gambling. So do whatever you enjoy, and I think if you just keep it as a hobby, that's even more important. But it was just cool to meet all the different people that I met, and including all the different vendors as well. Everyone was nice. There were people from all over the country. I met dealers from Chicago, from Phoenix, from people flew out from California, just like me. It seemed like we had trouble getting from the West Coast to the East Coast, but we did make it. And so it was just a lot of fun to meet everyone there. And I believe a lot of people are going to be in Vegas, which is cool. So it's starting to become more of like a community as far as just everyone going to shows, meeting in person, and probably looking forward to seeing each other at the next show. I know I do. So that's just my takeaway. Again, I just wanted to give my overview of the show itself. In the upcoming videos, I will most likely do card pickups, and I'm probably going to break them up into segments because I bought a lot of stuff, and I don't even know if I'm going to get into the stuff that my brother bought, but he bought a ton of stuff too. So that's a whole separate topic, and I definitely want to take a look at that because there was a lot of cool cards. Anyway, thanks again for watching. I'm glad I got to get another video out. I know these have not been coming out as regularly as I would like. When I got back from Atlanta, I really wanted to do this particular video about the show. Unfortunately, I got sick again. I must have got sick on the plane. I felt fine, but then the next day when I got home, I got this kind of a cold, like a head cold. So just been recovering from that, but I finally feel well enough to do a video, and I'm glad I got this out today. So anyway, thanks again for watching. If you like what you hear, please subscribe if you have not subscribed already, and please like the video, and I will see you on the next one.